Hi, my name is Cathy Merkel-Roddy. Welcome to Revealing the Healing. So you will notice on my channel, I try to cover a variety of topics related to healing yourself naturally. So for those of you who don't know, I healed myself of about over 30 symptoms about 3 years ago using nutrition, mindset, nervous system regulation, and some other fun natural tools. So now I just try and teach other people how to do the same thing. So one of the first symptoms that I was able to heal was actually my chronic heartburn. I had heartburn for over 20 years, probably since the birth of my first child. I don't know, during my pregnancies, I got such terrible heartburn. Anyway, that was the beginning of then pretty much a chronic problem ever since then, that I would just suffer. And so for the longest time, I just kind of endured it and popped some Tums. Then over time, I started getting more serious with my Zantac. I would do that twice a day. And so I don't know if you guys are on those PPIs, those proton pump prohibitors, or inhibitors, I think is what it is, but nevertheless, they are a kind of a little band-aid for what is going on and can maybe give you some short-term relief. But in terms of long-term implications, there's some pretty nasty side effects that come along with those. Those medications are just not great for you over the long haul. So that you can, there have been some studies linking them to cancer, to Alzheimer's, to other serious health conditions. So I just want to come on and talk a little bit about how I healed my heartburn. It only took me a couple of months actually to really significantly say, okay, my heartburn is almost down to zero. And so it's just some things I want to pass along to you guys in case you want to try and do it for yourself, because I would encourage you to begin trying to attack some of these things at the root cause. That's the thing about the proton pump inhibitors. They just put a band-aid on it. They're not really dealing with the root cause. And then also they can limit your hydrochloric acid for digestion, so you're maybe not digesting your food as good as you would be if your hydrochloric acid was stronger. And so we just want to make sure that we're not shooting ourselves in the foot by taking these medications when it's a pretty simple fix. You can fix it with a couple of quick steps. So I'll give you 7 of my favorite tips, and you tell me what you think in the comments if you want to. First and foremost, I just want to talk to you a little bit about what your belief system is, because that is going to set the stage for all the other changes I'm going to talk about. So if you are of the mind that you can heal these things naturally, and that there is a way to do that without a pill, and that you're not doomed for a life sentence with chronic heartburn that's horrible. But so let's just dive into that. So can you open up your mind for the possibility that maybe what I'm telling you is the truth, and that you might have an opportunity to change the trajectory of your life? I don't know if your heartburn keeps you awake at night, if you're just laying there feeling the burn and that horrible feeling, or if you have, like chest pains that resemble like a heart attack symptom. There's like all sorts of crazy stuff that comes along with that sour taste in your mouth, those burps that come up that are so sour and gross, and like possibly a little bit of acid in them. I don't know, gross, right? It's disgusting. But I'm just talking about the reality of what it means to have chronic heartburn, and especially when it's in an advanced stage and it's been going on for a long time. So the first thing is just, you have to, number one is, open up your mind to the possibility that it is possible to make some changes in your diet and in your mindset, and then that could lay the groundwork for complete and healing. So number two, probably one of my favorite suggestions is to drink 16 to 32 ounces of lemon water first thing upon waking on an empty stomach. So you wake up, you pour yourself a glass of water, you give a little squeeze of lemon in there. You don't like lemon or can't tolerate it for some reason, you can always just put a piece of cucumber in your water to give it some minerals and bring it back to life. When we're drinking water from the tap that has been chemically treated, it is not recognized by the body as easily as water that has been remineralized and quote unquote back to living water. So that's my kitty. That's Luna in the background. She's putting on a show for everybody too. So 16 to 32 ounces of lemon water upon waking. That's a great way to flush out the toxins that your liver released overnight. If there's anything kind of impacted in the digestive tract, it kind of can loose it up, dilute it, get it a little bit moving. Also, I don't know about you, but like just that gulping a bunch of water sometimes prompts some elimination, which is also a very good thing. Sorry, my dog and my cat are now putting on a show together. Bogey, no. So anyway, always something around here, but anywho, so all of that stuff is good stuff. We want that to happen because basically what is causing the heartburn in the gut is various pathogens that could be in there. It could be H. pylori. It could be a strain of strep. It could be E. coli. You could have all sorts of stuff in there that has been in there for years and years. Maybe you didn't know it, or it just sort of has become more of a problem over time. As your immune system gets depressed for any reason, you go through a stressful period. Sometimes these things can come on because your body isn't fighting those bacteria that have been in there for a very long time, but suddenly they're getting the upper hand and they're starting to multiply and proliferate and stuff like that. So we want to definitely be aware that that could be contributing to that stuff. In addition, if you have more stomach issues besides just the heartburn, but maybe you have a touch of colitis or you have Crohn's or something more serious like that, that could be a combination of a strain of strep and also a viral component like an Epstein-Barr strain or a shingles strain. It's also contributing to that together to make this like situation where your nerves aren't prompting your colon to move things along. So it's not only on the inside of your digestive tract, but also kind of on the exterior of the controlling nerves that are supposed to be helping you out and that aren't doing their job. I would say the next little trick that I just love is, I don't know if you've ever heard of the celery juice craze, but drinking 16 ounces of plain celery juice about 20 minutes after your lemon water, then that is like going to be your best friend in terms of getting rid of your heartburn. I noticed when I first started drinking celery juice, I would feel like as I'm drinking it, I would feel it like kind of putting out the fire as I was going through that process of drinking it. And then it would last, in the beginning, it lasted say 30 minutes, an hour. And then as I did it more regularly, more and more, then suddenly it was lasting several hours and then all day. So that's something that you can put into your arsenal. Now, celery juice is a powerful medicine too. So you definitely want to start small with that. So if you have a juicer, maybe just juice a couple stalks of celery to begin with. Just get a couple ounces going. Do it on a day where you don't have to run out the door and go straight to work or whatever. Try it on a Saturday or a Sunday if you're off. And where you can kind of be near the bathroom a little more, because you're going to make friends with your bathroom through all of this too. But this is a good thing. This is what we want. I don't know. I spent years constipated, TMI probably, and it was not good because I'm sure that I had so many toxins stored in my digestive tract. Because not only did I have the heartburn, but I had like a history of chronic nausea and stomach aches, and I was a quick thrower-upper. I threw up a lot and just all that digestive garbage. So Anyway, so it's good. This celery juice will start not only replenishing your hydrochloric acid, because remember we talked about that a little bit ago, where the PPIs diminish your hydrochloric acid and make your digestion weaker. Instead, the celery juice actually strengthens it, because that acid feeling and that you're tasting and feeling that are creeping up in your esophagus is not the hydrochloric acid. It's the bad acids from the bacteria that are in your gut. And that's what's creeping up. And so the hydrochloric acid will kill that stuff. But when the hydrochloric acid is weak or non-existent, less existent, let's just put it that way, it's probably not zero, but it's less than it should be to make sure that the balance in your digestive tract is good. So definitely want to, start drinking the celery juice. Then you can gradually bring it up from that 2-ounce start for a few days, just start it for a few days with 3 couple ounces. And then you can gradually go to 4, then 8, then 16. Maybe if it's all going well, every few days you could maybe increase the amount until you get to 16 ounces of celery juice. Now, if you find that you cannot tolerate the celery juice for any reason, you can always start off with just plain cucumber juice. So the good news is the cucumber juice provides some of the same benefits that the celery juice provides, but it's like less harsh and less like, down to business, and kind of can prep the scene for the celery juice. So you do the cucumber juice for a little while, and then you're primed and you're cleaned out a little bit so that you can handle the celery juice better when it comes time to do it. So those are some good tips. If you don't have a juicer, you can, for the celery juice, you can just use a high-speed blender and just blend it up, and use like a cheesecloth or a nut milk bag to squeeze the juice out, so that you do not want to eat the pulp. You don't want to ingest the pulp at that point in time. We want it to be straight celery juice, plain, add nothing, no ice cubes, nothing. And then that's just right after, 20 to 30 minutes after the lemon water in the morning on an empty stomach. And so then you wait again 20 to 30 minutes after you drink the celery juice then to eat whatever else you're going to eat, which of course, I'm going to urge you to pick something good after that and not something that's on the troublemaker list. So that brings me to the next thing. So the foods that are inflammatory to the gut are gluten, eggs, dairy, corn, soy, canola oil, and pork. But let's just even focus on the first 3. So let's gluten, eggs, and dairy are the very tippy top of the list of ones that you might want to look at eliminating. And you could do it even just for a short period of time and do like a little experiment and just say, okay, you could take one out at a time and just see if it's making a difference as you're removing it. I highly recommend you entertain trying to do all of them eventually and just see how great you can feel. Because if you can manage to eliminate all of those 3 things, you're going to do your health in all categories a big favor. So definitely start thinking about those foods to eliminate, because they actually are the ones that feed the bacteria that are causing the issues in the gut to begin with. So if we can eliminate their food source, which are those, gluten, eggs, and dairy, then we have a better chance of combating those bacteria with our immune system, because they won't be well fed. They're going to be starving and they're scrambling. Basically, they're going to have to move out of their little nestles. Sometimes they get hidden in little crevices of our colon and they hide from the immune system, and they manage to survive. They get behind like some mucus that's in there or some undigested meat that might be just lingering. And so they have a way of like being hidden from the things that would normally sweep them out or, kill them or whatever. So definitely want to look at eliminating those inflammatory foods, and then hopefully we're doing a better job of eliminating the colonies of whatever bacteria or viruses are in there. So That's super important. So, another thing you can do is also become a little bit more mindful when you're eating. So I know this is not the easiest thing to do in this fast-paced society. We tend to just like multitask. We're eating while we're doing something else, and we're not really fully paying attention to what we're eating. But I don't know about you, but like I notice when I'm kind of doing that, I feel like my food kind of gets stuck. It doesn't fully go down into my stomach the way it normally would if I were just calmly eating and being very mindful. I often will say a little prayer and just ask the angel of enrichment to make the food that I'm eating go where it is needed and let the nutrients in that food be absorbed to the maximum potential so that you can have a chance to fully utilize the food that you're eating. When we're adrenalized while we're eating, it's kind of shooting our nutrients in the foot, because as we're upset or energized or whatever it is that we're feeling at that moment, the adrenaline is getting released from our adrenal glands, in which case then taints all of the food and the nutrients that are gonna be, coming in with the food, and then the cells won't readily accept it when it's attached to that adrenaline. So often some of those nutrients get wasted when we're not properly calm and mindful as we're eating. Then we're missing out on some of the potential benefits of digesting that food fully and absorbing it the best way we can. So that's something super important to notice as well. So of course the next one is to just amp up your fruits and vegetables. Like, I think we've all known this since elementary school. We're taught you are what you eat. And that is, it's true. It is true. And so, a long time ago, even, I remember seeing a food pyramid from, I think the FDA or something like that came out, and our school was showing us, the proper foods to eat and stuff like that. And I don't agree with a lot of the because of the gluten and the eggs and the dairy are on that. But anyway, nevertheless, we still want to eat 8 to 9 fruits or vegetable servings. That was in that pyramid back then anyway. So that part I do agree with, and the more the merrier when it comes to fruits and vegetables, because those are natural detoxifiers. They alkaline or alkalize your digestive tract, so that then the bacteria don't have a better chance of surviving, because they cannot survive in an alkaline state. And so that right away helps. It also, they also boost immune system. Also the pectin in a lot of them actually serve as a broom to kind of sweep out some of the toxins and the pathogens that are in there, sort of kind of like as a little bit of a scrubber as it comes through your digestive tract. So, and then not to mention the benefits for your all of your digestive enzymes are made out of those minerals that come from leafy greens and also the celery juice, and the cucumber juice. But all of that was going to strengthen your digestive enzymes. It's going to help you sweep it out, and then the nutrients, in addition, help bolster your immune system, so that then you have more of those, white blood cells and different T cells and all of those guys that go in there and attack the invaders and stamp them out. So, that is an excellent policy if you can just start replacing the next thing I'm going to suggest, which is processed foods, because there are so many hidden ingredients in processed foods that you might not identify as harmful because of the way our food is labeled. For instance, so a lot of the time they'll slip some MSG into those processed foods without us realizing it, because we know that MSG is not wonderful for us. So now they have this new labeling practice where they can put anything, thousands of ingredients, under this one umbrella called natural flavors. And that becomes sort of like this little hiding place for them to put chemicals and things that you would never normally agree to eat in those foods. So, become a label reader. I'd say, look, if it has a bunch of stuff on that label that you don't recognize, I would say put it back on the shelf and, just make a practice out of making it like a few ingredients or ingredients that you recognize, or if you can weed them out altogether, I mean, that's for the best, because that, just whole foods, fresh whole foods is what we're designed to eat. And all of this stuff that's designed to sit on a shelf for months and months is not feeding us to the optimal way that we need to be fed. So I hope you've gotten some good ideas on how you can start to eliminate your heartburn. And I guarantee if you implement all of these things, I guarantee your heartburn is going to be dramatically better. I'd give it 2 months. And so report back, please. If you do try it, let me know. Report back and say, hey, I tried what you said and it worked. And I want to hear like the success stories, and nothing makes my day more, because, I'm taking the time to make this video so you guys can learn some things and I can share the bounty of knowledge I've learned healing myself over the past 5 years. And, it just warms my heart and makes me feel like I'm fulfilling my purpose by when people report back and it's actually, they're implementing the things I said and then it's actually working. So that makes my day. So I also have a free downloadable list of 10 powerful things you can do to promote your healing. So I will put a link down below. If you want to get a hold of that list, that would be awesome. Then you'll have it printed out. A lot of these are in that list. And so, and plus a couple bonus ones that I didn't mention. So I didn't want this video to be too terribly long, but definitely thank you so much for joining me. And please, if you haven't already joined one of my Facebook groups, I have 2 Facebook groups. I have Medical Medium 101, Finding the Road to Healing. And then I have another one called Healing Spasmodic Dysphonia Naturally. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. And I'll put the links to those groups down below as well. And anyway, love you lots. And I hope to see you on the next episode. Mwah.